Tom Tucker here, and joining me is Fargo City Commissioner Michelle Turnberg, also a candidate for mayor for the city of Fargo. Michelle, thanks so much for taking time for this conversation.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, I appreciate it. My pleasure. First off, how's the campaign going, and why are you running for mayor?
I feel like it's going really, really well. We have had so much support. Tonight we're at Kingpin's, and the turnout is incredible. I'm just overwhelmed and humbled by all of the support. Why I'm running for mayor is I love the city. I've been here for 35 years. I've grown to care about my neighborhood, my city, my everything about it. And I won a seat on the City Commission 2 years ago. And I feel like we're on a roll and doing good things within the city. And so I just wanted to continue that. And decided that running for mayor would be the next best step.
Mm-hmm. One thing that comes to mind was a couple years ago when you ran for Fargo City Commission. I was working in local media at the time, and you participated in a candidates forum, a debate, in which I asked the question amongst you and the other candidates, which national political figure do you most admire or most align with? And at that time, you were the only person who said President Trump.
Yeah.
You kind of went out on a limb, and I think maybe surprised some people who were listening to that debate, that forum. And here you are, now serving as commissioner for 2 years and running for mayor. What are your thoughts with regard to when you look back on that moment and you shared that sentiment?
Yeah, I absolutely 100% stand by it, and am very proud to have voted for him every time he's run. I cannot imagine what our country would look like right now had people voted for the alternate choice. Mm-hmm. So it's sad that the conservative majority, we tend to be so silent, the silent majority. So all of us conservatives need to speak out more and feel the freedom to speak our truths, because that's what will get other people to be like, I'm not the only one. And we won by a landslide in that election, and I think people just related to the fact that I'm absolutely happy to support President Trump. It doesn't mean I'm some crazy right-wing, people make up all these verbiages and all this different vernacular, but I'm just a conservative, faith-forward woman. I believe in faith, family, and freedom, and that's what I want to bring to the city.
Yeah. Speaking of conservatives, Commissioner Dave Piepkorn is also running for mayor. I don't know, I haven't heard anyone talk to you about this yet, but I presume maybe you've heard this question before. Might you compete with Dave a little bit for that conservative vote and talk about how that could potentially be an issue or maybe not?
Yes, it was definitely something that initially I had told Commissioner Piepkorn that if you are going to run, I will 100% support you, and I don't want to split the vote. And then we had an initial group of volunteers in our campaign advisor meeting, and they gave him some constructive criticism. And the way he spoke to the volunteers that had spent all of their time collecting signatures for him, putting, the literature out and letting people know about him, I was mortified, and I just knew I couldn't support a candidate that would treat volunteers like that. So I decided to run. And people can make their own choice. I think our campaign is doing a lot better. Much respect to him for putting the time in to serve the residents of Fargo. But it's been 16 years, and I think it's time for a change in leadership.
Yeah. Thank you for that, and thanks for your candor as well. Some of the other candidates that you're running against talk about there being what they call a perception issue or perception problem when it comes to crime and public safety in Fargo. Some point to some of the stats apparently that we're getting from the police department or from the city indicating that crime is down. Yet in your conversation, some of your public statements, you do emphasize crime and public safety. And heard a forum the other night in which you mentioned people simply wanting to feel safe in their own homes. Is it a perception issue, or is there really a problem with crime here in Fargo?
Well, the best news ever is that as of tonight, we officially have a new police chief, and Chief Stefanowicz, is going to be wonderful for the city of Fargo. So I believe that perception is reality. If you're feeling unsafe, if you won't go downtown because you don't feel safe, if you're worried about someone breaking into your car or your home, that's reality, and we don't want to live with our heads on a swivel. So I'm very excited. We have this new leadership. I feel like our old leadership set us back many years. We lost a lot of wonderful officers. Fargo is actually at 1.4 officers per 1,000 people. The national average is 2 per 1,000. So even to get to where Chief Stefanowicz wants to get is at 1.6 officers per 1,000 people, we need to hire 25 officers. So my mission is to focus on core city services, and that means the things that people cannot provide for themselves. So that means the water that comes out of your faucet, the toilets that flush, the roads that you drive on, your utilities, police protection, fire protection, and not all of these other special interests. We need to focus on the basics, get our budget in line, and help our police get back up to staff and at the levels that they need to be.
You, I'm sure, have participated in lots of interviews since you announced your candidacy for mayor, and I thank you for being gracious for taking a little time for this conversation here tonight. And you've talked about a number of issues. What other things are there that you think are important or that you might be concerned about that really haven't come up yet in conversation that you think are important to address or mention?
I feel like almost every issue has come up in the last few months. I'm running primarily on 3 bullet points. I mentioned public safety, which is the utmost importance for our city, core city services, to focus on that, and then addressing our debt. And I believe those all work together, and by laser focusing our spending, we're going to fix a lot of the problems that we have.
Yeah. With regard to the debt, I've heard estimates anywhere from $1 billion to $2 billion for the city of Fargo. Are you able to give us a number that's more specific? And how did we get to this point, and are we going to be able to fix it?
Well, you know what? The number that is told to us at budget meetings is about $1.3 billion, but that is going to be higher with our water projects that we have going on. However, a big problem I believe that we have in the city of Fargo, and you moving here, Tom, from Palm Springs, what is a special? Right? Were you shocked?
Yeah.
What is a special?
Yeah, that was something new and entirely foreign to us. Yeah.
And I believe it almost makes home buying not transparent because people don't really get the true idea of what the cost of their home is. Let's work to get rid of those and start fresh. Other cities don't have them, and Fargo doesn't need to be special with their specials.
Mm-hmm. Am I correct to think that maybe it's the builders who don't want to get rid of specials? And would they be the only group that would not want to get rid of specials?
No, and it goes back to core city services. The city is not a bank, right? And I've spoken and sat down with developers, and they're open. There's other roadblocks that are prohibiting them from growing and building, and I think it would be so much more constructive in city government to take away all of these roadblocks for developers. It's taking way too long to get through planning, it's taking way too long to get permits, and we need to fix that and grow smartly.
All right. Anything else in closing that we haven't mentioned, you want to mention or include?
I'm just so excited to be running. I know we will win this, but it's going to take every one of us to get out and vote, because a lot of times we can get really lazy in the June elections and our voter turnout is not so well. And this is your time to share your voice, have your voice heard, and really, if you don't vote, you really shouldn't be able to complain.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before, and I think it's true. We've been speaking with Michelle Turnberg, Commissioner for the City of Fargo, and now running for Mayor for the City of Fargo. Michelle, thanks so much for the conversation.
Thank you, Tom.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a pleasure. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good day.